It's Slate Night, the Film Fan Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Corey and Mason.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Slate Night, the Film Fan Podcast, the podcast made by film fans for film fans. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Mason Schmidt, here with my best bud, Corey Knudsen.
Ew.
Yeah, we got buzzballs this episode. It's going to be kind of dangerous. It's going to be a little bit deranged and a little bit unhinged as we talk through what we watched this week. Mostly, honestly, it's going to be a lot of Avatar talk because less than an hour and a half ago, we came back from watching that movie. So it's going to be a lot of the conversation today. I'm already feeling fucking tired and loopy, and I haven't had I did have a 24-ounce Coors Light at the movie watching Avatar, so... But we'll get into that. We'll talk about new releases. We'll talk about what gifts we got each other for Christmas. We'll have some Colt 45 as well. Corey, how are you?
Well, you mentioned the Colt 45. Beautiful fucking can. But that's a chaser to this elf
I don't like the flavor. I'm scared.
This elf-themed buzzball. For all the audio listeners, it has a little picture from the movie, and it's maple syrup sundae flavored.
That's gonna be
if you're not familiar with buzzballs, they're like a little orange wine technically, but it's like I don't know. It's
15% by volume.
Yeah, so 50. It's like apple size. If you've never had one of these things. 15%, and they get you pretty good. Ooh, it is milky white. It is milky white. You want me to open it for you, bitch?
According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages.
I'll put it down.
Oh, it contains milk. That's what I was looking for.
Milk?
We're both lactose intolerant.
Can you open it so I can fucking try it?
Dude, just go for it. I
want to cheers it with you. Oh my god.
Fucking fingers on it.
Jesus.
Can you put your finger in it a little bit too at the end?
Yep.
Oh, that's
there it is.
nice.
I left a little residue on there.
Good. Is the mic on for that? Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a...
This is a milky, thick white. All right.
Merry Christmas.
Cheers to this. Merry Christmas.
It looks like fucking spunk.
Should be easy for you to suck down. Alright, I'm gonna try it.
It smells like maple syrup. Like I can fucking catch and whiff.
I was not looking forward to trying this. I actually kind of fuck with this a little bit.
It's like a White Russian.
It's like a White Russian. Yeah,
this ain't bad at all.
It's like this is really good. It when you say maple syrup flavored beverage, you're like no.
It tastes like it on the back, and it feels like I just had like a full elementary school. Why are you laughing? Like an elementary school lunch of the French toast sticks, and I burped on the way out.
Oh, good memories. Holy fuck! Yeah, no, this is good. This is really good. Yeah, this is gonna be a deranged episode for fucking Blue People Talk.
Yeah,
would recommend. I don't even like the movie Elf. I know that's a hot take.
When was the last time you watched it?
Well, actually...
Or did you watch it too much as a kid?
No, I didn't watch it at... the first time I watched it was in high school, probably 10th or 11th grade, and I was I understand why people like it, but I just I don't know, I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan all the time, so... Anyways,
I'm running into people saying shit like that. Fucking put respect on Will Ferrell's name. He was Ron Burgundy.
No, I like some stuff he does.
Some?
Yeah, some of it.
What about the other guys? He's got the wooden Glock and he's just fucking banging Mark Wahlberg.
A little desk pop. He's getting some things Elf I'm not crazy about, but the buzzball is really good, actually. Surprisingly, I actually fuck with this a lot.
I'm going to need a nurse on this, because... With this being the starting point of the
Mine's
episode...
Gone. I'm just kidding.
With this being the starting point of the episode, this is going to be bad.
This is going to be good. And then we have, back over there... we
have whiskey.
We got whiskey, and then my coworker for my Secret Santa got me a old-fashioned, pre-mixed thing. So it was Buffalo Trace whiskey in there. It's really fucking good. Drank a quarter of the bottle the other day. Just by myself editing the last video, which only got 2 views on it, so whatever.
I was one of them.
Yeah. Sweet. Thanks to the other one person that watched that or listened. Anyways,
I'm more scared about the milk in this than the actual alcohol.
We pounded some Tums and drank some water before this to preempt all the different liquor. We're also going to play some Black Ops Zombies. Mason's having a sleepover.
Yeah, my wife didn't want me back home after this.
Yeah, hell yeah. I want you here.
I don't want you driving. And I'm like, I'm a good driver. I'm always a good driver.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're having a little fucking boys' night tonight. Yeah. So, life with the fellas, man.
How late is Cane's open?
Not late.
Are they probably already? Well, no. Probably. I think the Dinkytown one is open till like 3.
That's true. We'd have to drive there.
Does DoorDash not do canes?
No, they don't do canes.
Oh my god!
So we could voyage.
Oh god!
We could have buzzballs spilling out of Colt 45s just rattling out with fucking college. Actually, that's on like
a few small beers.
A few small beers.
A few small beers.
That's on frat row. We could actually hop into a frat party. That could be fun.
January, dude. Oh, almost January.
They're always partying, man. They don't matter. They don't stop the frat boys.
Was the polar vortex in? We should talk about it. Avatar.
Should we get into Avatar? Should we get into the movies 5 minutes in?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Maybe.
It's Avatar week. All right, so I rewatched both movies this week. The first 2 Avatars. You rewatched Way of Water.
Yeah.
I still really like the first movie. I mean, we grew up. We were 9 years old when that came out. Big fucking movie. Obviously,
in theaters. It was like it's a classic now at this point. Even if it's not the best movie in the world to me, it's just now part of my childhood. Like I remember that coming out, like I remember The Dark Knight coming out, or seeing Pirates of the Caribbean 2 in theaters for some reason.
Yeah, and my favorite memory from seeing this movie was when I saw it with my mom and one of my brothers. My brother fell asleep a couple minutes into the movie, wakes up about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes in. I can see him kind of like trying to process what's happening. He turns to me and he says, "Why are they all blue?" And I'm like, I don't have the time to just catch up with it.
Try again.
But yes, I mean, everybody seemingly saw that movie in theaters, even if they don't fucking like sci-fi really. So very popular, obviously highest grossing movie of all time. I think it holds up really well, actually. I mean, the visual effects are obviously the draw for all these movies. It looks great. It won Best Visual Effects, Cinematography, and Art Direction at the 2010 Oscars. And then we got a sequel in 2022, Avatar: The Way of Water. And that one I remember seeing in theaters and liking it. Yeah. And then this was the first time I rewatched it. And again, I like the movie. I think it's a solid follow-up. I think that there's a few too many things of like retconning sort of stuff from the first movie or trying to bring back characters and then adding in people like Spider, who we're going to have a full fucking talk about in Fire and Ash. But I think for the most part, I really enjoy that. And it was just kind of the novelty of the first sequel. Like we'd been waiting for so fucking long for that movie. And so it was really fun seeing that. We saw it with some buddies in 2022. And then we got together with those same buddies and saw Avatar: Fire and Ash tonight. One of our buddies was just coming off of a 3-hour flight and then sat through a 3-hour movie. So props to you, Tanner. Also, Aiden, great seeing you guys and watching this movie. So we're going to start out with our general thoughts of Fire and Ash and then kind of get into more spoilers. It's not like a ton of spoilery things. It's just like plot-specific things that happen that we want to get into if you don't want to know those things. So... I thought this movie was okay. I came out angrier than I expected.
I think we should focus on the positives because that might be the shortest part. Not that this movie's horrible. It's just like the things that are consistently good about this movie are good. Yeah. But there's just a lot of like question mark things of like why can't anyone who's attached to this movie write dialogue? Mm-hmm. Why is Spider still a character? Why does he say buttholes and shit and make 3 piss jokes in the span of 10 seconds? We'll get into the negatives in a minute, but I think the positives is probably the safe place just because I think that there's some good merit behind the scenes to this movie, and I overall do like these Avatar movies. The first one, the classic, and so on. But I think, obviously, the visual effects.
Yeah.
Goes without saying, you lose yourself in this world, and you completely... You forget that you're watching anything. You forget that the visual effects are even happening. Everything is digital within this movie, and it just, after a while, you don't even think about it. So it feels at this point that I don't need to acknowledge it, but it still reigns true that the visual effects are sensational. Some of the performances are really great. I think Zoe Saldana is fantastic in this franchise as Neytiri. I think Sam Worthington is actually pretty... He plays the role he needs to play as just kind of a straightforward white dude. Like he's a military guy and oh, hell yeah. Like,
he's a mad dad.
He's a mad... Especially in Way of Water. That is actually my biggest complaint about the second one. He's just a pissed off dad the entire time. But I think he's pretty good, and I'm really happy with what they gave Jake Sully and Neytiri for kind of character arcs within this film. Kind of in Way of Water, they're on the background. They're like the kids take the front seat of that story. This movie, we finally get to spend more time with Sully and Neytiri, and I really like what they do with them. Corey, do you have any kind of big glaring positives that really worked for you in this movie?
I mean, the coolest thing for me was the in the title, the Fire and Ash, we get to see this other fire tribe or this ash tribe, and I love, like, I'll get into this with the negatives, but the first time we go to their kind of tribe location, it's like on this big volcano. One of my favorite shots of the movie is just a wide shot of the volcano, and Stephen Lang's character of Quaritch is walking along there. But just seeing like the different kind of ways that they live, and just their different creatures that they have, and all their different costume design, all that shit is really cool. I also love Stephen Lang in all three of these movies. I think he's a really fun villain as Quaritch. He's got some really funny lines that we were just laughing about on the way home.
They made him very funny in this movie.
He's just like the military, like, obviously the first one he's a bit more intense. Mm-hmm. And I love any time in the first movie when, like, the humans can't breathe on Pandora, but he'll just rip outside with a machine gun and start shooting without a mask, and everybody else in that same room that he just opened the door to is like, fuck, get the masks, and he's just unloading on somebody. So I think he's really fun in all three of these movies. But yeah, I mean, to second what you said, the visuals, the spectacle is still there. Like, these are big event movies. It's the holidays. So many people are going to be going to see this, and I think it is worth it for that alone. Just to, like you said, you forget how good the visual effects are because they are so good, and making it look like these are just real things, real creatures that you're looking at. So it can sometimes be like, we've seen this before, but it really is fucking amazing what James Cameron has done. And he's always been pioneering so much new technology through these movies we have up here, The Abyss and the Terminator movies and Aliens and all that stuff. So that's, kind of the big positives there for sure. Visual effects, a lot of performances are good in the Fire Tribe. I really enjoyed. Now we're going to get into spoilers, and not even all of it's bad necessarily. It's just like thoughts on the movie. Just we had a whole long talk on the drive home. We're like, all right, we need to remember some of the shit to say now. So my biggest issue with this movie is that it just feels so similar to The Way of Water, in that, like, The Way of Water kind of has like a different story from the first movie, and I appreciate that. We see the Water Tribe, we do all this different stuff, and I like that. Fire and Ash feels like the same movie in terms of, like, kind of subplot things that are stringing this into a 3-hour movie somehow.
Yeah.
And there's subplots of whaling that I don't care about, of mining this thing from their skulls that can preserve life or extend life. And then you have subplots with Sigourney Weaver's character of Kiri, who somehow is the fucking kid of Grace from the first movie. Yeah. And she's trying to connect with Awa, and then you have the kids doing their shit and Quaritch doing his shit. It's just so many things stretched out. And then we have a final battle. And that's just like, it was fine for me in Way of Water. I was like, okay, we're back in this world. I like it. Fire and Ash kind of took a toll on me, actually.
Yeah. This one, it feels the most kind of thrown together. Like, it is a movie built on subplots, and the one overarching through line, if you want to say there's an overarching through line, is the chase to get Spider, who is a character we both hate. Can't stand. White kid with dreads saying butthole shit.
Hissing at
people. Saying, no, I'll protect you. And then the moment people show up, run! Get out of here! We need to run! And I'm like, oh my god. He is just very... It's hard for me to watch any of these characters, even the Na'vi, even the blue cat people, hiss at people. It's cringy for me to sit through. When a little fucking tic-tac white kid... Stupid.
So
You've
strange.
Lost all threat. You're not imposing. Anytime they go into a fight and he's trying to fight a Na'vi, I'm like, their wingspan is double.
You have a little blade.
Yeah, you have a knife and you're hissing, and there's a 10-foot tall blue person that can just fucking backhand you, and you're done. Like, Spider is the thing to acquire in this movie, because this will kind of tiptoe more into spoiler range, because there's not necessarily like surprises, just things kind of reveal or happen throughout the story. This does kind of come early on in the movie, where there's a whole dynamic of, well, human characters, the sky people, they can't breathe on our land. They can't breathe here. They need to wear a mask. They need to have an oxygen supply, which they never really acknowledge in Way of Water. the fact that he has like a timer for his mask or his oxygen supply, and that really bothered me because in this movie, the full first like 45 minutes to an hour is him constantly being like, "Oh, I'm good. I got like 3%. Oh, I'm like down. I'm gonna die. Oh, where's my replacement mask? I don't have oxygen." Yeah. So there's a big aspect of trying to make sure Spider can survive, and there's a kind of tension between the family as they're like, he's not made for our elements, he should be with his people, and then the kids are like, well, no, he's our brother, because we call everyone bro in this movie, because if you command F the entire fucking script of these Avatar movies, it's Loak saying bro every fucking line. Anyways, but so, they need to help Spider exist within this land, so through Kiri's, what's her name? Is it Kiri?
Mm-hmm.
Through Kiri's kind of attachment and connection with Awa, she's able to help Spider be able to breathe on land. And not only that, he gets the little penis hair wand thing that kind of tentacles.
You can just do shit now.
Yeah, it just, like, it feels like there's not enough thought put into some of the decisions. They're just like, this needs to get resolved. We'll have this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll explain it through Awa. Awa did it. God did it.
Yep.
Our tree god did it. So it feels thrown together, and then now that Spider is able to breathe, now that a sky person can breathe on this land, that is something so desirable to all of the other sky people, because they're like, yeah, if we could breathe on this land, we can inhabit this land, we can take over this land.
We can get that unobtainium we were after the first movie.
Or the fucking whale brain shit.
Amarita, whatever the fuck it's called.
So once that's established, and then you have the military of the Sky People, then you have the Na'vi trying to fight over, like, where's Spider? Try and find him and keep him safe. And it's just, that is the one through line. And it is a character that just makes me grit my teeth, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Just don't talk. So that is the closest to a through line you get. And then it's just like a lot of carryover subplots of Wailing, which, like, if you were going to tell me Wailing was going to be the big storyline past this first one, it'd be nice to know that off the jump. In Way of Water, it's kind of presented as a subplot. And then in this movie, it is one of the more integral portions of the film, especially that, like, third act. And I'm like, oh, Wailing is, like, fucking king for the Na'vi, apparently. It's just so jumbled. We jump between shit. We kind of similar to Way of Water, we harken back to the first film and try and reroute shit and course correct things or make things work in the present day. And I'm like, this movie is so jumbled in points that the story didn't even feel repetitive for me of Way of Water. It just felt messy.
Yeah.
And the parts that I loved, Fire and Ash, or this fire-based tribe that we were kind of somewhat promised in the poster and the trailers and all the marketing, they're very much like 15% of this movie, I would say.
It was just so frustrating because, like, again, like the second movie, we go to the Water Tribe, we see their culture, they learn, the family learns how to be a part of them. And then in this movie, we only get Quaritch that goes to the fire thing for like 10 minutes, does some ayahuasca, gets a girl, gets the Una Chaplin, who I actually really like in the movie.
She's fantastic. She is so just imposing as a kind of a pseudo villain for this movie. Yeah, she's fantastic.
As I think the granddaughter of Charlie Chaplin, so that's pretty cool. But like, I was really excited to see more of the fire people and like have a fucking fight in a volcano. Like, why? Like, that seems like a perfect place to have a final battle. And I think for me, where this movie felt repetitive to Way of Water was like, had a bunch of jumbled subplots, and then the end of the movie, you have a fight on water, people are dipping underwater doing shit, the whales are doing shit, and then a boat fucking blows up, and then the sun goes down, and it's the same exact shot of the sun going behind the thing, and then it's nighttime now, and then one of the kids gets kidnapped, so then they have to go back on the ship and fight Quaritch, and then we do the same thing, and it's just, I don't know, it just really... I wanted to see something more of like expanding this, because we like get a hint of it with the fire people. We get a hint of it with like these air wind travelers, I think they're called.
Yeah, and that was such a great like starting point. Yeah. Like, we need to take Spider off-world, and that you have that conflict within the family of like, Spider can't exist with us. He can't live here. And then they go with this wind tribe and they float, and then the fire tribe is introduced through that, and we get a really interesting, fun action sequence with that. And, like, honestly, the first 45 minutes, I was like, this movie's got me. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And then it's just, we circle back to the main family. Everyone starts back at where the movie started. They end up where the movie started, and it's like, well, what was the point of the previous 45 minutes if we're all just circling back to get to the exact same position we started at? Mm-hmm. Except Quaritch now knows about this fire tribe. That's like, that was all we resolved.
And that's like an hour and a half of the movie is that first chunk, and it's just, it's so frustrating because I feel like we can branch out and do so much on this world of Pandora, and the stories are just continually lacking. Like, even the first movie, which I like, the biggest issue is the story feels familiar to Pocahontas, Ferngully, whatever you want to call it. Dances with Wolves. But, like, that's kind of my main issue with that movie. Like, everything there is really cool still. This one just feels so jumbled, and I really felt the length on this movie. I know, like, rewatching Way of Water, I felt the length, but I was like, I'm never bored, I guess, in any of these movies, but with some of the shit here, like, especially when we're building up to the third act, and there's actually a pretty fun action scene in the city where Natiri's in and she's flying around and doing shit, and Sully's kidnapped or trapped in this cage. Like, that's fun stuff. And then we're cutting back to Loak, one of the kids, going to look for a whale. And it's just like, it breaks up the momentum so much, and it's like, this is shit you can cut out of this movie, James Cameron. Well, like, fucking, come on.
That, and like, you're breaking up new stuff that we're excited about. We're seeing the Na'vi interacting with more of like the human coexistence on this land, on this planet, with something that we've already seen of Loak going to find a fucking whale.
He did that in the last movie.
It's the same whale he's going to find. He's just like, that, and like that scene when they're... We mentioned that they get all back to the water planet at like maybe an hour mark back in the movie, and like the whale's talking to them, and I just... Whenever the whale, like the big council of whales, I'm like, ooh, I get this is sci-fi and this is supposed to be heady, and there's some really heady shit that happens in the later parts of the movie that I really appreciate. But the whales talking and conversing in the manner that they do, and one has like ear gauges on the fucking front like jowls of it, and I was just like, who fucking put those? Like, what is this? And that it just threw me. There's stuff that they over-explain, I think, within this world, and then there's other shit that they're like, yep, that's all design, and then you fill in the blanks. We designed this cool thing, and now you can think about the backstory behind it. And I'm like, that's just lazy sci-fi.
I agree. The back to the whale thing for a second. The subtitles are hilarious. In Way of Water, I remember the first time watching that, and it's just like one of them sitting on the fin of the whale, and like you just see the eyeball, and then it's like these subtitles, and there's like exclamation points. It's like, no, they killed my clan, and the whale's just blinking. It's just, I'm like, I don't
feel this.
I don't feel the emotion here. But yeah, I don't know. An issue that I have with both of the Avatar sequels, we kind of talked about kind of retconning stuff or bringing characters back. You get it with Sigourney Weaver. I still don't really understand how this Kiri character was born. It was like of Awa from the dead body of Grace's avatar from the first movie, but when did it give birth? We don't know. And then we still sometimes see normal Sigourney Weaver pop up in Awa scenes or something.
Where you can go visit all of your dead ancestors or dead...
Everybody that's died in Pandora. Okay.
What the fuck is this?
And then the biggest thing, which, like, they bring Stephen Lang back, obviously, in Way of Water, which at this point I'm kind of fine with. They talk about how they saved his memories and his DNA and like can inject it into an avatar. I'm like, fine. I'm fine with that. I like him as the villain.
That's enough of an explanation.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I can roll with that. But the concept of Spider being Quaritch's kid, who I guess was around for the first movie, but we didn't know. That's part of like the retconning where it's like, don't do shit. Yeah, like, and then they even talk in this movie, he's like, oh yeah, your mother she was a warrior. I'm like, wait, who?
I'm like, is this going to be an actual character, or is this just like a listless, non-existent person?
Michelle Rodriguez?
That's I was like, I mean, it was like Michelle Rodriguez? Like, he's like, she was a good pilot, and I was like, okay, so Michelle Rodriguez from the first movie? Or like, who? Who is the fucking parent of this child? And are they thrilled that this kid is just a white kid with dreads doing a Tarzan impression and just trying to mac on Kiri the entire fucking movie?
Right. And it's, I don't know, it just feels like a strange direction, because I think that the concept of like these scientists or the military coming from Earth because Earth is dying. They've depleted the resources to come to this planet and try and get that out. That's something we've seen before, but I like that as a kind of base level. And I feel like that gets lost so much because of all this other shit that's going on.
Yeah.
I would love if it was just like mainly Na'vi focused, and then the military's coming and trying to get the unobtainium or whatever the fuck they're trying to get.
I'd appreciate if you're gonna do sci-fi and this is a whole different world. I would appreciate more like ventures into the explanation behind things. Like I don't need you to spell it out to me, but like show the studying of this kind of world. Like we still have scientist characters that are held over from the first movie in Way of Water, return in this, where it's like I want to learn more about this world, not just be like, yeah, you're a clone. Okay, that's you Spider. You're getting a little dick thing back here that
connect
you
your tail.
Yeah, your little tail thing. All right, we'll be gone. Bye. Like there are moments where this movie ventures into like really heady shit, where we get to experience Awa and Kiri, who is basically born of immaculate conception, basically a Christ figure, experiences A1, is able to see the face of A1. I'm like, this is fantastic. This feels like 2001: A Space Odyssey. I love the representation of this, and I think sometimes the metaphors of like Christ and religion and all that stuff that they harken back to, there's a couple of different moments with Sully and Spider that harken back to the Bible where I'm like, this feels forced. But in that moment, I was like, this is something. This is something that you guys should develop. And yeah, this is different. This is exploring other, more out there shit. Whereas a lot of this kind of does retread things we've already experienced or heard of or know. The action is still fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The spectacle is great. I didn't feel the runtime as much as you did. Granted, the story is kind of messy, and we're getting things just kind of thrown at us. I love... My two biggest takeaways for characters in this movie are Quaritch, Stephen Lang, and Una Chaplin as Varang or Varong. I feel like they mentioned her name once, and I'm like, I didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
What are you... We also went into a rant driving back from the movie about, like, what the fuck are the names for these people? Like, who's naming these characters? Because can we just make them a little bit more easier to... I thought, Netanyahu? I said Netanyahu when we left the fucking theater. I was like, I don't give a shit about Netanyahu, who is not obviously a character in the Avatar world, sadly in our world. But there's also just a lot of carryover. Like, Jermaine Clement from Way of Water is also still here. It's like we're exploring and spending so many times with subsidiary... not important characters. I just want to focus on Jake Sully and maybe some of his kids. He shouldn't have fucking 5 kids with Spider being one of his adoptive ones, because fuck him. But also, like, Took, fucking just die, okay? Like, you're just a young kid that everyone needs to go and save and protect. I don't care. Yeah. There's certain familial dynamics that happen in this movie where it's just like, hey, you need to watch out for your siblings and stuff like that. That work, but then it's just again, pair this with Way of Water. It's like, we've kind of already fucking done this.
Well, like
what are we doing?
That's another big thing of just feeling like Way of Water is the relationship between Jake and his son Loak.
Yeah,
and he, the oldest son died in Way of Water, Neteam, and that was kind of the heir, so to speak, or like the good son. Mm-hmm. And Loak is a bit more reckless. He's kind of, he's going to abandon his post and all that. And, like, pretty much throughout all of Way of Water, Jake and Loak are at butting heads. And he's like, why'd you do that? You almost got your brother killed, blah, blah. And then we're doing that again this movie where it's like, all right, you need to stay on your post. You need to have your comms on. I'm not trusting you to come out with us on a mission. Until the very end when he's like, I see you now. And it's like, well, we didn't do the work this movie because you hit the same beats as the last movie.
Which, that kind of harkens back to one of my issues with Way of Water. I rewatched that for the first time this week. I've only seen that movie now twice. And I still liked it, but I have issues with it. It's too long and stuff like that. But my biggest issue is that Jake Sully, the protagonist of the first film, has literally nothing to do in that movie. He bookends the movie where we follow him a little bit in the beginning, a little bit at the end of Way of Water. But otherwise, he's just like a disgruntled, pissed off, disciplinary dad. Mm-hmm. And there's no, like, arc with him. He's just, he starts off pissed off dad, he ends pissed off dad. Like, nothing changes. Like, there's that scene after the oldest brother's name.
Netanyahu.
After Netanyahu dies, Netanyahu. After Netanyahu dies, and he's like, Loak's like, let me come help. And he's like, no, you've done enough. I'm like, in that scene, if you just wanted to change that character's fucking behavior and have Jake Sully, instead of saying, no, you've done enough, be like, you know what, I can't lose another son. Mm-hmm. Stay back. Like, show me some emotional growth for this character so I can fully endear myself to that character. And then that already gives us a better jumping off point going into this movie where, okay, maybe they are on terms. Sure, there's probably still friction, but they can work together at least, as opposed to him still being like, no, fucking protect your siblings. What are you doing? Where are your comms? Why aren't you wearing your comm? Like, it's just, it's too much of the same, and it's also, it feels like there's no arcs, and it's just lazy writing of just, it doesn't feel like there's a clear goal in mind. Like, the biggest complaint people hurl at the sequel Star Wars trilogy, I feel like you can also say about these Avatar movies. I'm like, what are we building to? Where are we going? Because these two movies, you could probably cut them down to one 3.5 hour movie and have like a good cohesive story within that. So that being said, I like this movie, I think, more than you. I actually prefer it to Way of Water, even though it is messier than Way of Water. I liked watching this movie more than watching Way of Water. But I don't like, spectacle's great, visual effects are great, action's great, but you gotta give me something story-wise that's not a retread, that's not unoriginal, borderline ripoff of Dances with Wolves. Like, give me something fresh. It's like they came up with Way of Water, and they're like, we finally came up with a sequel idea to Avatar. How are we going to follow it up? Run it back. Do the same thing again. And it's just like, what are you doing?
It feels... I was kind of thinking about this, that these... like, especially this movie, both Avatar sequels sort of feel like the last couple Mission Impossible movies to me a bit. And the reason I say that is because it feels like with both the last couple Mission Impossibles, Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then Final Reckoning, it feels like they are you sniffing the Colt 45.
It smells awesome.
But with both last couple movies in those franchises, it feels like they are planning out great action sequences and great visual spectacle, and then filling in story to kind of connect that.
Yeah, to bounce around.
So in this one, it's like, all right, we'll have this kind of like big, like balloon ship fight, at the beginning of the movie, and then we'll have one at the city, and then we'll have another one at the water at the end. And then we'll connect it with some other shit in there to kind of do that. And in the Way of Water, that was fine with me. Just, again, kind of that novelty of, like, we've been waiting forever for this. We've heard about this movie. This one, it started to wear thin. I was just like, I'm not getting anything from this. Like, the visuals, like we said, are so fucking insane, and I don't want to, like, undersell that at all, because it is spectacular. And the action. You mentioned the action. It's really fun. Like, any big action scenes are great. Anytime Jake Sully's on a big fucking bird's back firing machine guns at people.
You keep saying bird. It's a fucking
whatever
dragon.
Dragons, the Ikrons, whatever they're called. Who gives a fuck? Or if, like, Natiri's got her bow and arrow and she's just dicing dudes down in ships. That's really fun. I like seeing that. But at this point, we've had two movies that are pretty lacking in story in this franchise, and they worked well enough for me. This one didn't bring anything new and didn't capitalize on those new, interesting things enough. Yeah. Of, like, the weird, like, the big AI or Awa head, or the fire people, or these other new tribes, or any relationships. Like, they hint at Quaritch having a redemption arc, sort of.
Yeah.
And, he's talking with Sully in the beginning of the movie, like, Sully's like, hey, you just gotta appreciate what's around you. Like, you're not Quaritch. Like, you have these new eyes. Like, start looking through those.
Yeah.
Like, you appreciate this culture.
I rip on the dialogue. That was actually one of the few times where I was like, okay, that's nice.
That's
like
that's
really
a good
nuanced.
idea.
It's a good, well-written scene where he's like, you've been given these new eyes. Open them.
Yeah.
See the world around you. I'm like, thank you! Someone wrote something fine!
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
And it's that, and, like, they toe the line with so much of that stuff. Like, there's a scene too where, like, Jake and Natiri are like, Spider, he has this property of, like, being able to breathe on this planet that they want, and, like, he's dangerous anywhere he is. Like, we can't protect him well enough because they're going to keep attacking, and, like, Jake takes him into the woods and he's going to kill him. Like, that's a, like, big thing, and Natiri brings it up earlier in the movie. She's like, we we don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, we need to kill him. He's a threat.
Yeah, and which is just really funny. The first time she says it, she's like, "What if we kill him?"
She's like, "We could kill the
Jake's
worst
like,
character
no!
in these movies."
And then, Jake takes him into the woods, and they do the fake out of, showing him with a knife, and it makes the fucking plunging into your neck sound effect, and then it doesn't do anything. But at first, I was like, please, do it.
Have some balls.
That
do
would
something.
Be, that would be huge, or, have the repercussions of having to tell the kids, or you tell them that he died somewhere else, and then they figure out later.
Because that's a story.
That's interesting. That's character arcs.
That's a story that is way better than Wailing Again and trying to fight this one-armed guy that is an Aussie that somehow is still alive. I remember rewatching Way of Water, and the fucking cable catches his arm, and then it just
gets yeeted off.
I was like, he's dead. And nope, he's got a fucking bionic arm, and he's still an Aussie jackass. But I feel like this movie sidesteps the things that definitely could have made it way more interesting.
Yes.
1, with the Fire Tribe. 2, Courage maybe having a redemption arc. 3, do we kill Spider? And then what are the repercussions of potentially that decision? Mm-hmm. And then you could also decorate it with little Kiri just exploring her conception, how she came about. I think that there are so many good, better plot threads that they could have followed and developed and turned into something really intriguing and interesting that they're like, actually back to Way of Water again. And it's upsetting because I think 45 hour long, before we circle back to the Water Tribe, before we get back to that setting, when they go with the Wind Tribe, when we get introduced to this Fire Tribe, when we have that kind of, is Quaritch going to flip? Is he going to actually have kind of a redemption? The first 45 minutes of this movie were some of my favorite Avatar movie ever. It was in that moment, I was like, this is going to be my favorite Avatar movie. And I've heard the kind of slight dogging on it of it's the worst of the 3, but it's still good. Kind of the gist of what we're saying right now. Watching the first, about an hour, I was like, this is going to be my favorite Avatar movie. And then it just reduces itself to same formulaic slop that they've already kind of shown us. Yes, it's good, beautiful looking slop, but it's just you guys didn't think hard enough. You didn't think long enough. You just you fell into comfort on certain things in terms of the story, in terms of the characters, where I'm like, what's the point? We're just circling the bowl. We're just doing the same shit again. And I like this movie more than Way of Water. I'm more excited to rewatch this movie than I was to rewatch Way of Water. I had to watch Way of Water in 3 chunks. It's a 3-hour long movie. I typically can watch long-ass fucking movies with no issue. Way of Water, it took me a while. Mm-hmm. I think with this movie, I could probably get through most of it on a rewatch in one sitting. I really enjoyed it, but it is so thrown together and messy, especially in that latter half, where I'm like, what the this isn't the guy that gave me Terminator 2. This isn't the guy that gave me Aliens. This isn't the guy that gave me True Lies. What's going on here? So, while it's technically a Marvel, the things that should be the easier thing, James Cameron talks about having to get the technology up to snuff so he can make these fucking movies. Maybe we just cover the grounds of making a good story first, and then we worry about the technology later. Mm-hmm. Also, I think visually it is very impressive. It looks amazing. You forget about the fact that this is all digital and made up. The high frame rate did take me a while. This was shot in 48 frames per second, or at least converted to 48 frames per second. I don't know if it was originally shot in that, but it took me a while to have my eyes adjust. It's like watching a 3D movie. Once eventually, hopefully, you'll snap into it, and I kind of did, probably 10 or so minutes in. I will say, with that, I think the high frame rate lends itself to kind of creating an issue with some of the visual effects, or the contrast between a Na'vi person and an actual human. I think sometimes that linkage between those two in a scene, you get kind of that uncanny valley, or it looks like something's a bit off. The human character feels a little too smooth around the edges and it looks a bit fake. I think the high frame rate is likely the issue I'm having with that. I will end up probably seeing this movie again, I think, in theaters. One, I think I want to. Not necessarily because it's fantastic, but because it's an Avatar movie. We'll probably have another 2 or 3 years before another Avatar movie. But also, I need to see another Doomsday trailer or teaser. We got the first one of that, so that was kind of cool to see in theaters. And we also got a sick Odyssey trailer that I didn't fucking know about.
It was tight.
Loved that. So I will probably end up seeing this movie in theaters, so maybe I'll adjust the things or notice new things. But I'm not going to notice anything new or really monumental in terms of the story because there isn't anything new or monumental with the story here.
Yeah, this, I feel like at least I've dogged on this one a little bit, and I didn't plan on it. Going in, we talked about it. I'm like, I'm kind of in the mindset of I think I'll like it about as much as Way of Water. This is my least favorite of the 3 Avatars. It would go 1, 2, 3 for me. This one had the most things that I was so frustrated by.
Yeah.
Where, like I said, the first one, it's kind of just a story we've seen before, but it's so fucking entertaining, and that technology at the time was great. And the battle for Pandora and the end of the first movie, I think is hands down the best battle in any of them.
The scale, I brought this up with our friends after the movie. One thing that is always going to 100% work for me in these movies is when they show the scale of Na'vi tech to a human.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever a Na'vi, mostly Natiri, shoots a bow and arrow or shoots a bow, and the arrow plunges into a human, and it is just a telephone pole out in the front of them. I'm like, that's hilarious. It just immediately cracks me the fuck up. But there are so many lines in this movie where I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it really is a mixed bag, and it was just, like I said, a lot more stuff that I was frustrated with that I was like, all right, I've seen this bag of tricks before. The spectacle isn't enough to win me over.
Yeah.
I was kind of on that borderline with Way of Water where I'm like, some of the story stuff, but fuck, that looks really cool. Oh, it's great to be back in this world. So, I as much as I think that this movie is very okay, I think it is a must-see in theaters for sure. It's a spectacle movie, it's an event movie. I think families and Avatar fans and everybody, is going to go see this. I just think that there's so much that they could have done that was interesting that they towed the line and almost did it and then didn't commit to it really. I wish James Cameron would be done with this. I wish we got a trilogy of Avatar movies. I think there was an opportunity to tell a great story here and have this arc wrapped up of the humans trying to plunder this Earth or plunder this planet and then go away from that. Also, Edie Falco's in these fucking movies in the last 2.
Yeah, Nurse Jackie.
Sort of. Carmella from Sopranos. But I don't know. It felt like we could have done that, but now we're probably going to get 4 and 5. We've heard talk about that for so long.
Yeah.
Who knows?
These movies make bank, too, so it's probably going to solidify the idea that we're gonna... And I'm excited to get a 4th one. And, I'm never, at the start of a year when I'm making my top 10 most anticipated, Avatar is never on the list. But when it comes to, those final couple of weeks leading up to the release of the movie, I tend to get pretty hyped for them. And on the drive there, I was so stoked for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I still, overall, I had a great time. I liked the movie. Obviously, we just talked about all the issues we have with it, but I still, overall had a good time with it. I think that this so easily could have been a trilogy. Use the Quaritch redemption arc. Use the death of Spite. There's ways to make this a tight, well-rounded trilogy of Pandora, and I would have loved that. I'm somewhat excited that we will likely get more entries in this world, but I don't necessarily need those, especially if it's just going to be the carryover of awesome spectacle, but lackluster storytelling, where it's just I don't need that again. I already got basically 2.5 movies of that. I will say, with a lot of these movies, a lot of these longer movies, going into it, it was shit, I need to make sure I go to the bathroom. If I need food, I need to get that now. I don't want to leave the theater at all. I will say, watch the first hour, and then after that hour mark, once they somehow are back on the Water Tribe's land and the whales are talking, you can leave whenever the fuck you want to go to the bathroom. You don't need to wait. You don't need to worry. You'll catch the Miley Cyrus song at the end. You'll be fine. Don't worry. I think I was a little disappointed at, this is messy, and if I leave and come back, it's still going to be messy. It doesn't kind of refine itself in the latter moments. So, overall, still a great time. I'm happy we got to kind of make a tradition out of it and see it with our buddies Aiden and Tanner again. It's just it's fun because you and I watch a fuck ton of movies, and then talking to people that watch a lot of the same overlap stuff with us, but not nearly as much as we do. And hearing other opinions on stuff or what they thought, and Aiden always has hot takes or interesting takes that I'm I didn't think about that, but I actually kind of like that.
He had some ideas for where the story of the fire people
was coming from, and I'm I think you
that's more interesting.
You did better than them. I was like, shit, that would have been really cool if they hinted at that, but they didn't do that at all, and you killed it.
Yeah. It's, very mixed bag, but I mean, it is, like you said, a fun tradition at this point. Maybe over time I'll like it more, but as of now, I would say disappointed a bit.
Yeah.
Even with my expectations of being like, if it's like Way of Water, it's fine. I just don't like it as much. That's Avatar talk. A lot of Avatar this week. Fucking however many 8 hours of Avatar. However the fuck.
It's definitely like 9. It's gonna be 9. Because how long is the first one? 3 or is it 240?
It's like 240.
I think 240.
Perfect
for me is becoming like if you're gonna be a long movie, 240 is like the ideal time.
Big blockbuster
for a long movie.
Yeah.
Once you're hitting 3:15, which like granted, I'm sure this movie says it, like Way of Water is 3:15, but 15 minutes of that is credits. I'm guessing Fire and Ash is somewhat similar. I didn't obviously time it, but 3 hours, when it's especially a messy story, it can be long.
Yes, and it felt very long.
But we had a pretty good, granted a little bit long, but a pretty good, tighter movie earlier this week.
We did. Some counter programming to Avatar: Fire and Ash was The Housemaid, which is Paul Feig's newest movie, his second this year, after Another Simple Favor, which is not very good.
Forgot about that. Streaming.
It
was straight to Prime, right?
Straight to Prime, yeah. A Simple Favor, the first of those movies, really good. Mm-hmm. And that movie, The Housemaid, shares some similarities to this movie, because Housemaid is kind of a nice little throwback domestic thriller, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's about this struggling woman played by Sydney Sweeney, and she's trying to start over her life as this housemaid for a couple played by Amanda Seyfried and Brandon Sklenar. And then, we won't get into spoilers for this one, really, I don't think. But some weird shit's going on. There's some sketchy stuff between their marriage and the backstory and the history there. And Sydney Sweeney kind of gets thrust into this story. And I had a good time with this movie. I think, like I said, I like domestic thrillers, this kind of like... mostly in this one home. Like, we venture out a little bit, but mainly in the home. And just kind of the twists and turns along the way. And I think, to start off, the performances are good in the movie. Amanda Seyfried, I think, is the standout for me. Especially when you get to the end and the reveal of what's been going on and with her backstory.
And contextualizes it a little bit.
Yeah, like, you watch scenes and how she was playing them earlier when you're like, oh, she's fucking crazy. Like, she's being insane right now. But when you recontextualize it, then it's like, oh, okay, I see what was happening here. So she was great in the movie. She's always been really good. And Brandon Sklenar, I mean, I talked about how much I like Drop from earlier this year. Again, a really good thriller.
Pretty good, tight, like, what feels like an early 2000s thriller.
Yeah, so he's, like, kind of notched those under his belt this year as far as those good thrillers. And I like him a lot here. He gets more to do in this movie than he did in Drop, I feel like, as this husband who... Again, like, he has some history. You're kind of tracking along with all these characters. You're like, I don't know if you're the villain of this, the hero. You have positives, negatives throughout the first half. And then, Sydney Sweeney, I think she is good in the movie. I think that the other two performances are just a lot better.
Yeah. And
they're, like, Amanda Seyfried in particular is kind of acting circles around her time. Sydney Sweeney can be a bit... dull and one note, not in her looks, because if you
I was wondering how you're gonna circle back. She looks awesome.
Holy fuck! If you're a fan of how Sydney Sweeney looks,
98%.
This movie, every shot, it was like in the movie Nope, the opening scene of that movie. If you haven't seen it, it's an ape that is going crazy on a family after he hears a balloon pop. And as soon as Sydney Sweeney came on screen in this movie, that balloon popped for me, and I killed the other two people that were in the theater with me. For the hour and a half, I just sat there. I was just going feral, climbing over seats. Everything was wet everywhere.
Oh, don't say that.
And it was insane to look at. Not to like be a pig, because that was really just a pig comment.
Slip and slide in the theater.
But Sydney, so I feel like she embraces it though. So whatever.
I mean, the entire cast, like, collectively is really hot. Like, straight guy, Brandon Sklenar, dude's a hunk. Like, dude, looking dude, fucking massive. Like, make him Batman. The dude's tan. Yeah. He has the Bruce Wayne aesthetic. He's chiseled. He's a fucking big bitch, and he can also act pretty well too. So I've been pleasantly surprised, but I haven't seen, like, I think he was in, was it 1923? It was one of the spin-offs of Yellowstone, or one of the prequels of Yellowstone he was in. I've only ever seen him in The Drop and in this, or Drop in this, and I really enjoy him. Amanda Seyfried, I've always had a crush on her, and I always think, like, I remember when I met my wife for the first time, who you introduced me to at a Halloween party, I immediately thought that she looked like Amanda Seyfried, and I was like, I'm talking to her for the rest of the night. Holy shit. And yes, spoiler alert, Sydney Sweeney is attractive. She got big tits. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, white guy said big tits on a woman. Oh, bad. No, it's fine. Like, she's an attractive woman, and that's fine. There are some moments or some scenes in the movie where she can't act, or like some of the dialogue just comes across kind of wooden. And then there's a lot of physical stuff, not necessarily like the sexual stuff, settle down, but some of the physical stuff where I'm like, you're kind of selling this. This is really kind of hurting me, actually. I think that this is a good little domestic thriller, and it kind of similar to what you said, it fits within Paul Feig's kind of more thriller wheelhouse that he's kind of established with The Simple Favor, at least that first one. I haven't seen another Simple Favor, and from what you said, I don't need to see it. I love that movie, A Simple Favor. I mentioned this to you, when I was in my freshman year of college, coming home from Christmas break, I had just gotten dumped after buying all the Christmas gifts for my girlfriend. And she was like, we should probably end things. And I was like, okay. Went into a spiral. So my family, not a big, like, I mean, we are now. We're a lot of alcoholics. But back then, we didn't drink a lot. So we had a fucking wall display of wine. And I spent a week straight of just crushing wine and watching more like type chick flick type movies, like Devil Wears Prada, but also like Simple Favor and Pitch Perfect and stuff like that. I saw Clueless for the first time then. But I would, if The Housemaid was out and a movie that I could have watched back then, it definitely would have been in that rotation of just me crushing wine and watching just chick flicks, which, like, you can't really boil this down to a chick flick. It is kind of a good little tight thriller. It makes me, like, some aspects of it and the way it's told make me think of Gone Girl. The quality is not a one-to-one, but, like, kind of some story elements. I'm like, oh, there's kind of some manipulation going on behind the scenes that kind of makes me think of stuff. So I will say it's a rated R movie. Sometimes it feels like it's more rated R just because they say fuck one too many times than showing me partially what I came here for. But we do get a lot of, like, the steamy scenes are steamy. And I liked it. It was a fun watch, but it's also an awkward watch when you're a lone person in the theater with, like, couples lining the theater, and I'm just like, I'm not hard right now.
I saw this movie. It was like a Friday afternoon, and there were two other just single women by themselves separately, and I was like, I'm not weird.
Yeah,
I'm not a pit. Well, I'm not. You know, after my fucking rant, but whatever. But no, this is a good little thriller. I think my only little issues with it is that there are a few. There's a portion kind of going into the third act of two straight flashback scenes that kind of take up a good chunk of time. Where I'm like, we're killing the momentum of the story that we're progressing along pretty nicely, and I was like, you could have maybe spread that out throughout the movie a bit more, or found a better way to incorporate that.
Yeah.
And then, again, not to get into spoilers, don't want to reveal who kind of the antagonist of it is, but when we do find out who it is, their motivations were a bit murky for me. I was like...
Didn't feel like enough.
Yeah, they're saying things and doing things, but I don't really know why they're doing them still. Like, they kind of are like, well, because I want this, and you're like... Okay, I mean, that's like a weird quirk, but it's not like, I need a little bit more just to get me into that.
It's implied why they think this way, or at least where they get that mindset from, but still within the movie, I'm like, that's not enough for me to have, like, this character doing some despicable acts that they do. where I'm like, I don't get the jump there. That, and there's, especially towards the end, especially when some of the mystery kind of resolves itself, there's a lot of conveniences, especially with certain characters being questioned and being questioned by specific people, and it being like, oh, actually, everything's okay right now. It's fine. So it's like, okay, I feel like you guys just took the day off on finishing the script on that one, but that's fine. I had a really good time watching this movie.
Go check it out.
Yeah, it's a little over 2 hours, I think.
A little bit too long.
It is a tiny bit too long, and you get some repetitive scenes, especially with of Sydney Sweeney in the house as a nanny, and then Sydney Sweeney in later parts of the movie in the house as a person that can kind of enjoy the house a little bit more. I'm trying to hint at what definitely happens in the movie of Sydney Sweeney be fucking like I don't know. There's just some scenes of repetition where I'm like, we can cut this for time. Like, it's fine. We don't need this. But I was really pleasantly surprised by this movie. Mm-hmm. My wife is gonna take her mother, and I think she's thinking she might take her grandmother to go see this movie, and she was like asking me like, oh, okay, you're gonna go see it. Will you let me know if it's too steamy for my grandma? And I'm like, I don't know if I'm the best judge of that.
Depends on how your grandma is, if she's cool or not.
You don't get a lot of full frontal, or not even it's not presented in a matter of fact, straight up, here's Ariel. You get a lot of side angle, it's a tastefully done, seductive little domestic thriller, and it works really well for that. So take your grandma. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Try and explain to her why you're hard.
So well said. Also, quick one last little rant on this movie. More specifically, Sydney Sweeney. If this movie doesn't do well at the box office, don't be one of those people that's like, well, see, she can't, none of her movies are doing well, so nobody wants to see her in movies. They're like, yeah, Eden didn't do good, and Christy didn't do good. I hate that argument so much. This does not get leveled against so many actors if their movies don't do well. It's just Sydney Sweeney's been in the news a lot this year. The American Eagle bullshit, political beliefs, all this type of stuff has been thrown around. We see so many actors in little indie movies that make zero money, but then go on to win Oscars or are kind of cult classics. Yeah. The box office is not a thing of well, see, nobody actually likes her, so don't fucking do that. I hate that argument.
That and I don't think she was the strongest performer in this movie. Mm-hmm. Tough crowd to be around when you have Amanda Seyfried in the room. But also, if you were Sydney Sweeney can't act, I would say watch her in Anyone But You. Her comedic timing, fantastic in that movie with Glenn Powell. Great chemistry. Watch Immaculate.
Yes.
One of the biggest, unsung heroes of horror movies from the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. What a great horror film that is. And she's awesome in it, especially in that final scene. I think about that scene a lot. And I love horror movies that kind of make me, piss me off and upset me. And make me, it lingers with me. Immaculate does that, and most of that lies on Sydney Sweeney's shoulders. So, as well as a lot of weight in the front. But love Sydney Sweeney as an actress. Yes, she's great to look at, but she's more than just that. And even in this movie, she is a good kind of co-lead for this film. So, definitely go check it out. Bring it, it's a good film to just see with a crowd. I feel like it's a pretty good, crowd-pleasing film. It's a good little thriller, so definitely check it out. There's some good twists and turns. And I really enjoyed it. It was, sad to say it, my favorite movie I saw in theaters this week. Yeah. Sorry, Avatar. I watched a couple of other movies this past week. I'm actually going to jump the order just because one movie, I don't have the most to say about it. It's a movie I've seen a lot in my life. I rewatched the How the Grinch Stole Christmas from the year 2000, which, interesting enough, was the highest grossing domestic film of 2000, which is the year Corey and I both were born.
Crazy.
It pulled in over $260 million, which is just fucking ridiculous for a little Christmas movie about the Grinch. But Jim Carrey in an all-time role. It is a movie that is kind of flogged with some pacing issues. It's directed by Ron Howard, so it's made with some level of intellect and craft and skill. And you got awesome makeup and just it's I get why a lot of people love this movie. I watched this movie so much as a kid, and growing up we did a lot of family movie nights, and it just kind of wore thin for me. And it felt way longer than it was. The movie's an hour and 45. Growing up, I would have told you that this movie was 3 hours long. But if you don't know what The Grinch is about, it's about the Grinch. There you go. Fucking figure it out yourself.
Is that his species, his job, his mood,
his gender?
What is Grinch?
I don't know, but I love him because he's greasy. He's a greasy, mad,
big belly, hands on the hips.
This, I forget. Rewatching this movie, I did get a good amount of enjoyment out of it. Not new stuff, but just like, oh yeah, this movie's really horny and really like relatable. I feel like it's been running, like doing the rounds on like social media of like how quotable this movie is, and I appreciate it. It's funny. It's interesting. The one, like, there's a lot of negatives I could levy against this movie. The one thing that really hit me on this upteenth rewatch that I did of this movie is how dull the coloring of Whoville is. Watch through it again. It's kind of like that same thing people levy against Wicked, where it's like you'd think Wicked would be so vibrantly colored, and then you watch it and it's like, it's kind of like washed out a little bit, a little dull. I get that complaint in Wicked. It's definitely true in this movie as well. It's kind of just dull looking. Like everything's kind of muted and it's not as saturated as I'd want a Christmas movie to be. But still, I love Jim Carrey in this movie. It's an iconic role. I love that he is just bricking up over the mayor's fiance or girlfriend throughout the entire film. And when the mayor's fiance girlfriend is just firing Christmas lights out of a turret onto a house, I remember the great memories of that as a child and just like trying to hide a boner as I went to get more popcorn for my family. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's a great Christmas watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you watched this movie a lot? Most people, I think, have seen it.
I mean, our age, it came out the year we were born. Like, so we've watched this movie a lot. I enjoy the movie enough for that reason. I've just always preferred the 30-minute Grinch original animated short. I think that's the perfect amount of time for this story of the Grinch stealing presents, and then his heart gets big and he returns the presents. I think that's just a great 30-minute story. This one, you just feel how stretched out a lot of the story beats are. Flashbacks to school and all this stuff, and you're like, okay, like it's enjoyable enough just because I watched it as a kid. The biggest thing is like Jim Carrey and the physical performance, like the smile. I think it was like on the Sonic, the first Sonic movie, the press tour, where he like did the Grinch smile, and you're like, oh, that was just real. That was all fucking makeup. Yeah. So he is by far my favorite part of the movie. I haven't seen the Benedict Cumberbatch animated one. I heard it was like okay.
It's fine. If you need a new Christmas movie that you haven't seen, it's worth a watch. But like having seen the 30-minute cartoon, which I completely agree with you, that is like the I think best viewing of Grinch. Yeah. It just succinctly tells that story. I know it's really charming and sweet, and Sidney Lou Who in that is so freaking adorable. I've always loved that. That's the best. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is great. You could check out The Grinch, but it's probably my least favorite iteration. At least we've gotten in like film form. So, but it was nice to see this. I always forget that this is a Ron Howard movie, and then you see Clint Howard, and it's like, yeah, that's how you got work because you're a brother of Ron Howard, so makes sense. But yeah, it's a pretty fun rewatch, a little nostalgic. I've also been watching some of like the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen because my wife really likes those, and we'll be kind of chipping away as Christmas is 3 days away if you're counting today as the 22nd, even though it's 1:46 in the morning.
Wow.
So there's some Christmas movies I'm going to try and get to. Before we talk on this last film that I watched this week, which is a banger, are there any Christmas movies you're going to try and check off or watch? Are there any like hard-hitting staple films that you need to watch around this time of the year?
I mean, I know last year we did a top favorite Christmas movies. Go watch that. An early part of it. We didn't have video at that point. It was just the audio.
So listen to that.
Go listen to that. But I mean, my favorite Christmas movie is Home Alone. Like, I watch that every year, whether it's at family or just at home. Like, I gotta watch that one. Mm-hmm. I think the best Christmas movie is It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah. I did hear, and I was appreciative to hear it, Macaulay Culkin was doing an interview. He was actually on the last meals on Mythical Kitchen with Josh on there, and he was talking about Die Hard.
What's your take on that?
Well, so he was talking about how if he thinks Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and he said exactly what I've always thought, which is that Die Hard is a movie that takes place around Christmas, but that Christmas is not integral to the plot, so it's not a Christmas movie. He was like, Die Hard could take place during St. Patty's Day or Easter, and it's the same movie.
You could say that about Home Alone, though.
But it's about a family traveling for Christmas.
Summer vacation.
But see, I don't think so. Because,
I think it could,
because I think it's like the presents and everything, and like I think that the holiday itself is so integral to that movie, and like going to church for a Christmas mass and all this stuff, and like holiday travel for that, and like
I don't think any holiday is bringing a husband back to bring gifts to his kids and his ex-wife or potential ex-wife, whoever he's separated from. I argue that it's a Christmas movie. Not that I really give a shit either way. It's
good movie either way.
Yeah, it's still great. And I'm probably gonna watch it around this time of year, even though like as someone who says it's a Christmas movie, it's like bare minimum Christmas movie if it is one. Like it's not like Home Alone, and I'll just bust your balls. Home Alone's a Christmas movie, 100%. There's no fucking doubt about that. It's just I'm so tired of the Die Hard conversation of just like, can we just?
Yeah, it's great either way.
Bruce Willis even says it isn't, so like maybe just fucking follow his suit and just put up the white flag. Who gives a shit? But I'm gonna try and watch. Have you ever seen Fat Man with Mel Gibson?
I haven't.
I really like that movie. I'm gonna show my wife that. I don't think she's gonna like it at all, but I love that movie of a little boy who got pissed that Santa didn't bring him a specific gift, so he hires a hitman to go kill Santa.
That's tight.
Awesome story idea. So I'm excited to rewatch that. I always try and watch Krampus. Since like whenever that came out in like 2016, that's such a good Christmas horror. I like horror films, so Christmas horror is great. The original Black Christmas is great, so maybe I'll try and check out one of those as
also, shout out The Night Before. Hilarious. It's just three dudes trying to get weed on Christmas.
That's
so funny.
From Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
From Mr.
Green. Seth Rogen puking in the church is so fucking funny.
He's wearing an ugly Christmas sweater, but it's the Star of David because he's Jewish. And it's just like, we didn't do that to him.
It's so funny. A modern Christmas classic for me personally.
It's just like such a good movie about like three guys being there for each other. It's really endearing. So it's a good movie. Yeah, that is a kind of an unsung hero
for
of
sure.
Recent holiday releases. Yeah. So check that out if you haven't. I'm excited to watch a couple of Christmas movies as we kind of get close to that and close to the end of that time of the year. The movie that I watched this week that was far and away the best film I watched this week, which was Ikiru. I know you've already seen it. We were talking about Seven Samurai last week. This is from the same director, Akira Kurosawa, who is a famed, amazing, sensational, influential director. Made High and Low, which we've talked about earlier this year. Also Rashomon, which is one of my 100 favorite films of all time. This is also starring Takashi Shimura, who was also in Seven Samurai. This is one of the 21 films that him and Kurosawa collaborated on. He collaborated on Kurosawa's very first film and collaborated on the very final film, so got to span his entire career. But it is really just, this whole movie rests on Takashi Shimura. He lives this life as this bureaucratic man stuck within like the public service system, and he's trying to find meaning in his life after he kind of receives this death, this terminal illness diagnosis that his days are basically numbered. He doesn't have a whole lot of time. And I think that this film is sensational. It was, again, it's black and white. It's from the 50s. It's an old movie. You gotta read subtitles. I'm sorry if you're uneducated and you can't fucking handle that. Watch a fucking movie from a...
Comes up every week. We talk about it.
Just watch a movie that's black and white that has subtitles. Watch a movie that's black and white that's in English that you can understand. Watch a movie that has subtitles that's present day. Doesn't matter. Watch movies that you're not usually accustomed to because you're gonna really open up your repertoire to some more important, influential, and interesting shit. This film, it's really quiet. A lot of Akira Kurosawa stuff is, or at least what I expect from Akira Kurosawa is samurai stuff, just because that was my entry into his filmography with Seven Samurai, Rashomon, Yojimbo, and now getting High and Low, and it's just like, damn, this dude can just fucking frame shit. And this movie is stunning in black and white. But also, it's a really meditative, touching piece on just finding personal worth in your life. Whereas this man, he's just like, I sit at a desk, and when people come to ask me for help at my public service job, I tell them that they're in the wrong department and to go elsewhere, basically. Or just like the rigmarole bureaucratic bullshit that you'd expect with public service. And where it's just like wheels are spinning, but nothing's getting done. I'm going to pass you off to this person, they're going to pass you off to this person, you'll get bounced around, and then you'll just give up because you don't care anymore. And I think a man in that position getting diagnosed with this terminal illness where his days are numbered and he's just like, shit, I've done nothing with my life. I'm not satisfied with my family. My son doesn't like me. He's just waiting for me to die so he can get an inheritance. Like, I don't do anything. I don't have friends really. And like, his only thing that he has to live for is his job. And like, within that, it's bureaucratic bullshit. So he gets this death sentence basically, and then it's just him trying to scrounge up meaning. And then he puts out his ear, he listens to people that come into his work, and he hears about this horrible piece of land that people want to potentially turn into a park, and he's like, that's what I can do with my time. I'm going to dedicate the rest of my time to making this park nice for the people that live near that community. And it's just an endearing thing of a man being like, I'm going to dedicate my time to doing what's right for people that I'm not even going to be able to enjoy it. What's the line that Skarsgård has in Andor where he's like, I fight wars for sunsets I'll never see, or whatever, not obviously verbatim, but that's basically what this movie is like, I'm not satisfied with who I am or where I've lived, what I've lived up to. So I'm going to leave behind something that not only gives a legacy, but it has a positive impact on people. So it's a very touching movie. You brought up It's a Wonderful Life. It's a movie that I would liken to that, where it's just kind of life-affirming and positive. Yeah, there's some depressing aspects to it of like kind of realizing like I haven't amounted to much, or I haven't done anything. I don't have interests anymore. Like it's stuff that I don't know. In another movie that's over 2 hours long, I'd be like, this movie's slow moving and boring. Akira Kurosawa, or just an accomplished, competent director like Kurosawa, this is such a enjoyable, pleasant examination of a man kind of coming to grips with where he's at and figuring out, okay, what can I do now? How do I fix this? So I loved this film. It was fantastic.
This was actually the first Kurosawa movie I ever saw. This was in college in one of my film courses. My professor, Mark Stanfield Johnson, one of my favorite teachers I've ever had. He just had such a great way of examining movies, of letting like us talk about a movie but then breaking it down. And just like, I remember him talking about this movie, and it just has always stuck with me. I think this is my favorite Kurosawa movie. I haven't seen a lot of them, but this one really got me on the track, because then I remember I watched Rashomon and Dreams and Yojimbo after all this. And
I still haven't seen Dreams. I'm excited. I need to watch that.
Dreams is okay. It's one of his last movies, if not his last one. But this movie just... It's such a simple story, and like if you and I were to ever make a movie... This is the type of story that I would want to make, of just a simple, 100%. Emotional, impactful movie. And it really is, like, plays into what you were talking about, of, like, getting to the end of your life, or just at a point in your life where you're like, I'm not doing much. Like, I'm not, and, like, you just feel like you haven't amounted to anything, and you're just living for this job that you don't even really like that much. Yeah. And it's a fear that everybody has, whether it's, like, a relationship or your job or whatever. And you start living once you know that you're going to die. And there's something that is so heartbreaking about that, because you're like, wow, it took this long to get there. Yeah.
But also like in his 70s.
Right. But then it's like this week or this months or years, however, like kind of that time frame when you start to actually capitalize on the good you can do. And that's so powerful in that short amount of time. And it really, like, I remember talking to my film class about how this is like Breaking Bad, right? He finds out that he's going to die, and he starts to do something with his life. Very different from what he chooses to do. But even
no Akira.
Even like, you know, at the end of Breaking Bad, one of my favorite moments is Walter White being like, I did this because I was good at it. And I really liked doing this. And it's just like how this movie, this, you know, Kurosawa movie from 1952 can inspire my favorite show of all time. One of my favorite projects of all time. It's just so impressive. I love this movie so much. It's so touching. I'm glad you finally checked it out. I know it's been on your watch list for a while.
I bought the Criterion a while ago, and I've just been having it on my shelf, and I'm like, I need to check it out, especially, and I think us talking about Seventh Samurai and High and Low earlier this year, I was like, all right, I should sit down.
Good Kurosawa watch for us this year. It's been really good.
I want to continue to chip away at it. I know I need to see Ron.
Me too.
People always, I feel like when it comes to like what his best movie is, I feel like Hiru is always in that conversation. I feel like Ron is sometimes in that conversation. Seventh Samurai is in that conversation. Personally, for me, Rashomon is still my favorite, and then probably High and Low. and then Throne of Blood I love.
I need to see that too.
It's just the story of Macbeth, but through Akira Kurosawa, which
cool.
Through Akira Kurosawa, everything is great. So I love this movie. It didn't, like, this one didn't punch me and hit me as hard while watching it, but after it just kind of lingered. And you talked about, and it's also the cover of the Criterion, but the shot of just his character, Takashi's character, on the swing set of this park that he's made in his final days. And it's just like, like kind of like a good, like a moment of just a man being at peace and finally somewhat satisfied with what he's established in the latter days of his life. So, great movie. Love it. It's influential. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to recommend you see it. Again, you can read subtitles. You can do it.
No, it's definitely worth it. This week we have a lot of stuff coming out. Kind of the last big blitz of 2025, which is insane.
Yeah. Top 10s here soon.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we'll probably do our top 10 of this year, our top 10 most anticipated for next year. I'm excited to do those probably in the next coming weeks. Yeah. We'll do some separate episodes on that. But we have one thing coming out on Christmas Eve, which is Father, Mother, Sister, Brother in limited release. It's a Jim Jarmusch movie, and it won the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival, so basically Best Picture there. It's about siblings reconnecting after years apart. Good cast: Tom Waits, Adam Driver, Mayim Bialik, Cate Blanchett. I've actually only seen Patterson of Jim Jarmusch's movies, and I like that one quite a bit. So I'm curious about this one. I don't know how big of a release it's going to get initially, so I'm excited for that. Another one, all these other movies are going to be coming out on Christmas Day. Always a big movie watching day for families. Song Blue is coming from Craig Brewer.
I hate that title.
Yeah, it's
hate that title.
Kind of a mouthful, especially with like a buzz bone. Song Blue, got to think about that. Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson got nominated for a Golden Globe for this movie. But it's based on a true story. They play Lightning and Thunder. They're from Milwaukee. It's a husband and wife, and they're a Neil Diamond tribute act, and it's kind of their success and their downfall. Trailers look fine. It looks like it could be an okay Christmas movie. I hope it does well. It feels like one that families could go see and have a fine time with. But the one that I'm most excited for this week is Marty Supreme. The marketing has really worked for me in this movie. The concept of just like an underdog story. Timothée Chalamet just hopping on rap songs, going out and just doing all of the great marketing that I feel like is needed in this day and age, where he's like appealing to his generation and his age of people, because like older movie critics are going to go see this movie.
Yeah.
But he's like, through people on TikTok or whatever, he's like, hey, Christmas Day, go see Marty Supreme. What else are you doing Christmas Day? Go see Marty Supreme. Like, he's just really playing into it. And I think he's one of the few people right now that can really do that. Where he's like the Leo DiCaprio of our generation. People fucking love Timmy. They're excited for his new movie. I'm excited. And I cannot wait to see this. I think I am going to see it on Christmas Day, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to try and catch Marty Supreme. That is, of the three that you've highlighted, definitely the one I'm most excited for. I am really excited for the Jim Jarmusch film, Father, Mother, Sister, Brother. I just know it's a limited release, so whenever I catch it, I'm going to try to, but I'm excited to see it nonetheless. Song Blue. I'm happy that that's coming out, especially around this time of the year. It looks like a somewhat of an endearing, good family flick, so should be good for the holidays. Marty Supreme is definitely the one that I want to go see, especially with Timothée Chalamet likely getting awards buzz and probably going to get an Oscar nom for his performance in this movie. I've heard great things, and I've heard one critic say bad things about this movie, so I'm really interested to who I align with, but nonetheless, Timothée Chalamet never misses, so I'm really excited to see what he has to say. And Lisa Al-Gaib, oh yeah. And Josh Safdie, too. Is he the better of the Safdie brothers at directing? Yes. I guess we'll kind of find out after a Smashing Machine in this. But I'm excited to see this. This story feels kind of all over the place, but also centered around ping pong. I love a good game of Gnip-Gnop, so fuck it, I'll watch that. We also have some really fun movies. Well, at least one really fun movie, in Anaconda, a movie that I didn't know was really going to be anything of substance, but after we got that initial trailer with Jack Black and Paul Rudd being fans of the original film, and they're like, let's remake Anaconda on $10,000. All right, sounds good. The trailer sold me. It's directed by Tom Gormakin. So sorry, I had a buzzball. That awkward moment. And the director of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is a film I love. Good. What a great movie. Also has the cast of Steve Zahn and Thandie Newton joining Jack Black and Paul Rudd. And it's just friends making Anaconda. Yeah, I think that first film, I watched it only on the Sci-Fi Channel growing up, and it works. on the Sci-Fi Channel. And I love that there are, in this world of this remake, people that are just such diehard fans of that movie that they're trying to make it. I'm so sold. The comedy looks like it's going to land for me. Some jokes seem a bit easy, but I'm really excited. This one seems like a good crowd pleaser, and I'm really excited to check it out, hopefully in the coming week. We do have a couple of other movies that I'm really excited about, but they're going into limited release, so whenever the fuck I'm going to get to see it remains to be seen. But coming out in limited on Christmas Day is No Other Choice, which is maybe for the rest of the year the film that I am the most eager to see. It is coming from director Park Chan-wook, obviously the director of Oldboy, but maybe one of the best films I've seen in the last 10 years, Decision to Leave. So I'm eagerly awaiting this film. After being unemployed for several years, a man devises a unique plan to secure a new job, eliminate his competition. I can't wait. The trailers look great. Poster looks really fun and interesting, and just when Park Chan-wook is attached to a project, you know it's going to be something special, so I'm really excited to see it. We also got The Testament of Anne Lee. Again, this is a film coming out on limited release on Christmas Day, December 25th. It is directed by Mona Fastvold, which I've never seen anything made by her. The only thing that I really could find in her bag filmography was a film called The World to Come. This is starring one of my celebrity crushes, Amanda Seyfried, as well as Lewis Pullman, Thomasin McKenzie, and Christopher Abbott, who Christopher Abbott needs to be in more things immediately. The film is about Anne Lee, the founding leader of the Shaker movement, proclaimed as the female Christ by her followers, depicts her establishment of a utopian society and the Shakers' worship through song and dance based on real events. The trailers, I didn't know that there were musical elements really to this movie. I just knew that this looks eerie as fuck, almost midsummery and horror. And I like this, and I've seen a lot of good accolades thrown Amanda Seyfried's way for her performance within this film. So I'm eager to see this. I just don't know when I'm going to see it. So we have a lot of movies coming to limited release that I'm really anxious to go check out. So it's going to probably push back whenever we finalize our top 10s of the year, because some of these movies I have high hopes for, especially No Other Choice and Testament of Anne Lee. And I'm really excited to see a lot of these movies coming out this week. So it's really just going to be what's showing near me, because I'm going to go to the theaters a lot.
Yeah, no, I like with No Other Choice especially, I'm like, I really want to see that before we do our top 10, hopefully. So it may get pushed back maybe like a week later than we normally do it. I'm excited for both of those. Anaconda, I've never seen the original movie, so I'm pumped to watch that.
That's going to be a good first time watch.
Yeah.
Get fucking disgustingly drunk.
Oh, I have no issue doing that, so I will absolutely.
That's what our plans are for the rest of the night.
Absolutely. But it feels like it could have kind of that Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle type Christmas run where it's like really entertaining, just fun, good cast. Minnesota legend Steve Zahn. You know, that's fun.
One of the Greg's Barbershop in Buffalo, Minnesota, the guy that used to cut my hair in high school, every fucking time I went to see this man, which I think in the span of like 3 years I got my hair cut maybe 12 to 15 times by this guy. And every fucking time he had to mention to me, I used to cut Steve Zahn's hair. I'm like, cool, I know. Greg, it's me. So, Steve Zahn, Minnesota native. Love him. And I'm excited to see him in something like Anaconda where it's like, I don't know if I've seen you in a whole lot recently.
I love him in Sahara. That's a fun movie.
Is that the Matthew McConaughey?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's a fun movie. I mean, he's Bad Ape, too. He's good in that. Daddy Daycare. That movie fucking rips.
As a kid, watching that movie was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
The scene where it's not a Steve Zahn scene, but it's just a kid that's potty training still, and he comes out of the bathroom, and Eddie Murphy's like, well, how'd it go? He's like, I missed. He's like, what? I missed. And it cuts to Eddie Murphy opening the door and looking at the ceiling. That has always been one of the funniest things to me. So, love Steve Zahn. Yeah. Also, throw some love to Daddy Daycare, because why the fuck not?
Absolutely.
Great movie. But moving into a little bit of a physical media roundup, we did also do our Christmas gift exchange between Corey and I. I purchased a Criterion movie of Seconds, directed by John Frankenheimer, which I believe stars Rock Hudson. I'm excited to watch that, hopefully in the coming week, while I'm up north with my in-laws and need some time to get away and watch some movies. But Corey also thankfully bought me a Criterion, the 4K Blu-ray for Brazil, which I have here. If there is a glare, I'm so sorry. I can't see what the camera can see, so deal with it. But this is a movie I've really been interested in. I knew the Corridor Crew VFX artists reacted kind of a breakdown of a handful of scenes from this movie, and I was just immediately kind of enamored by the look of this movie. And it's directed by Terry Gilliam, so I'm excited to see that. So I'm really thankful for Corey giving me this for Christmas. I'm going to check this out. He also got me one of my favorite unhinged movies of 2025 in Eddington, the A24 release. I fucking love how weird this movie is, and it's Ari Aster. Ari Aster, whether the movie is 100% good or 70% good, it's 100% interesting all of the time. So I'm really excited to rewatch this movie because I love Joaquin Phoenix in this. He cracks me up, and I love his kind of back and forth with Pedro Pascal. Mm-hmm. There's some uneven shit in it. I don't need Austin Butler or really Emma Stone's weird arc, but I think this is a great film for 2025, and we can all say that this is the only movie that needs to be made about the COVID pandemic. We don't need another one. This fully encapsulates the stupidity that exists around that time.
Yes.
So I'm excited to rewatch this. I might try and make my wife watch it. She'll probably hate it. And that's gonna be fun.
That's one of my favorite discussions of this year was our talk on Eddington, because you really like that movie. I think the first half is really good, but just that whole talk we had, I really like that from this year. As far as what you got me, you went fucking awesome and crazy and got me 3 Criterions this year.
I mean, it was the Criterion sale, so it was like $20 per movie.
Best time to get movies.
This is also like Corey's the only person that buys me movies around this time of the year, or really ever. And I'm guessing I'm one of the few, if not maybe your mom will buy you a movie here and there, but this is the fun time of Christmas for me.
Yeah, we don't I feel like probably with your mom or your family as well, we tell them specific things we want maybe.
Yeah.
With us, we see what we have in our collections. We'll go over to each other's places and then be like, all right, you don't have this. You didn't ask for it, but I know that you would want this. So 3 things that I have not seen that I'm really excited to watch in this upcoming year. All That Jazz, starring Roy Scheider. You talked about this, I think it was earlier this year.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember you've had this for a while, and I'm really excited to check this out because I just think it's a movie I'll really enjoy.
Yeah, Roy Scheider.
Just fucking great. A more recent one from 2019, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Really excited for this too. I know you haven't seen this either, from Celine Sciamma. And I've heard some crazy things about this movie. I've heard it visually just looks fucking awesome, so I can't wait to watch that. And then the last one is The Player, starring Tim Robbins, directed by Robert Altman, I believe it was. Did I say that? Yes, Robert Altman. A movie about filmmaking, which we've talked about a lot, is something that we both really enjoy, just as film nerds. So, great little haul. Thank you so much for these.
Thank you.
It's always fun.
Also not pictured is the G&X vinyl that Corey got me that's over on the couch on the other side of the room. I can't wait to bump to that. He asked my wife asked me, really inconspicuously, my wife was like, oh, what Kendrick albums do you have? And I was like, well, I got Butterfly, I got Good Kid Mad City, and she was like, you don't got G&X. I'm like, no, I think G&X I should have put that on my Christmas list. Damn it. And then surprise, surprise, Corey got it for me, thankfully, because I am so excited to listen to that. TV Off was I'm not a big Spotify rap person. I think we probably ripped on that. We had a rant, but that was the number 1 song for me this year. That was the only one that hit 3 digits of numbers of time to listen to. I fucking love Kendrick, so I am so excited to rip through G&X a couple of times.
That's maybe at least one of my favorite memories from this year was seeing Kendrick with you and my buddy Sam, going to see him live right after the halftime show, following the beef. That was fucking sweet. So, thank you again. It's always fun exchanging gifts, like doing that. Coming out this week on Blu-ray and 4K, we got a few releases. Begonia is the biggest one. I know you got the 4K Steelbook pre-ordered. Should be coming soon.
I'm so excited.
I can't wait to buy that movie and watch it again. We also have Black Phone 2. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey is coming out. And then Cloud Atlas on 4K. A movie that I've never seen, but I've always wanted to watch. I don't know why, but I remember when I had...
Wachowski brother. Yeah. Wachowski siblings.
Yeah, get it right, please.
Trying my best.
I remember when Redbox was still around, if you remember that.
That feels like the most Redbox movie.
Holy shit. They had a Redbox app, and I would look on that when I was first getting into movies, like, I should watch this and this and this. Cloud Atlas was always on there, and I just never got around to seeing it. So maybe someday I'll buy this movie and actually watch it, because I've just been so curious about the premise of it.
Yeah, no, I also haven't seen it, and I've heard it's kind of like a lot of the Matrix sequel talk. Some people love it, some people hate it. I hear people say Cloud Atlas is like a fucking masterpiece, And then I see some people say, this is horrible sci-fi slop. Like, just don't touch this. And I'm like, I don't... It's also a long movie, so it's an investment. I'm like, am I gonna... It's got a great cast. Like, fuck, do I check it out? But I'm really excited for Begonia on Steelbook, but also I might buy... I don't own the first Black Phone. I might buy a Black Phone, too. And the thing about you that I try not to do is you will buy all of a collection or all of a franchise, even if you don't like every aspect or every... kind of installment in a franchise. Autism. It's the autism. Black Phone 2 I like more than the Black Phone. And I don't feel like I need to rewatch the Black Phone a whole lot. Black Phone 2 I feel like I would watch a lot, especially around Christmas when we got the winter setting of Black Phone 2. But you look at the 4K of Black Phone 2, and then the next suggestion is, Black Phone, the original. I'm like, fuck, damn it. So... Who knows? I might have to end up buying both, but I will likely be buying Black Phone 2 in the coming days.
Get both.
Yeah, that you are the fucking devil and the angel in one person on my shoulder. Buy them both.
You're gonna feel better having them both.
Yeah, until my wife's like, we have no room in our fucking bedroom because you have so many fucking movies.
Well, tell her to get rid of some clothes or something.
Some clothes and books. Yeah. You don't need to wear that much. You don't need to read that much.
Yeah.
Papa's got to watch movies.
Fuck yes.
She would fucking... She's a very nice woman, and she would rattle my cage.
Yeah.
She's short, but she can take me down. She's strong. Well... Okay. Yeah. Getting into movie news from this past week, we're going to kind of start on a bit of a bummer, kind of keeping in the talks of the Black Phone films, also Sinister. But actor James Ransone passed away at the age of 46. He was known for his roles in The Wire as well, the Black Phone, the Sinister films, but also It Chapter 2, where he played Eddie, or the adult Eddie. He passed away this past week, which I didn't know until we were driving back from Avatar. You brought it up on the car ride, and I was just like, what the fuck? And I didn't know the nature of it, which I don't think we really need to really dive into, but it is just sad. 46 is not a full life, and it's like he was always a complimentary performance in a lot of movies that I've really enjoyed. He was the best part of It Chapter 2, a movie I don't like, but him as adult Eddie worked so well. So it's a sad, kind of confusing and hard passing to talk about and to kind of deal with. We always say that these actors, these directors, these people that work in this industry, they exist throughout their work. I wish that I was exposed to more of his work, and I wish that, because I've never seen The Wire. So I wish I would know. I've known him from that, as opposed to looks like he was in The Wire. I don't know enough about this man, and I feel bad because what I saw from him was some of the best parts in the movies he was in. So it's really sad news to hear. But like we say every week, they will live on through their legacy, and we're lucky that we get to kind of keep them around in their existence throughout these films and their projects that they've worked on. So I don't. Is there a specific movie that comes to mind when you hear James Ransone?
I think It Chapter 2. Yeah. Honestly, like you mentioned, he's one of the best parts of that movie. I do really enjoy. I believe in the Sinister movies. His character's name is Deputy So and So. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, if I remember right. No. And then in Sinister 2, I think he pops up for a second, and then it's retired Deputy So and So. It's something very funny, but he obviously had a good working relationship with Scott Derrickson in his horror movies. And yeah, The Wire has been something. I think he plays Ziggy on The Wire, I've always heard. And just kind of a memorable role. So that show has been on my watch list for a long time, and I would love to go back and watch that and see his work. But yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, every week we talk about someone that passes to live through their work, but yeah, just very young, very sad, just all the circumstances. So yeah, definitely want to check out some more of his stuff that he's done, because I do really like his supporting work and a lot of stuff that I have seen.
Yeah, and we wish, obviously, the best of wishes for his loved ones and family through this time, just because it can be hard and trying to understand certain things and live past someone's final days. Moving into a little bit of a trailer roundup, which a lot of these trailers we got to see on the big screen in the lead up to Avatar Fire and Ash, which we got trailers, or at least a teaser for Avengers Doomsday, which was kind of leaked and talked about and widely discussed throughout this past week. We also had a surprise little trailer for the Odyssey for us today. Disclosure Day, maybe one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time. We'll talk about that. And also a short little introductory clip for the new Alejandro Iñárritu Tom Cruise film Digger, which...
You said that wrong earlier.
Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. That is not...
That was crazy.
When I was listing these trailers and you looked at me, I was like, oh, I must be doing good. And then no, it was just the fucking asshole in you coming up with a damn joke. God, fucking... There's no argument that can save someone from... I'm excited for that movie. Yeah. Okay, Corey, fuck you. You talk about trailers.
No, Digger.
Okay, settle down.
Well, I was going to make another joke. I can't say that one. It looks...
We need to map this shit.
Yeah, this is getting dangerous now. No, I'm excited to see Tom Cruise in a more serious role again with Alejandro Iñárritu. It's been since, I think, The Revenant, like over 10 years since he's put out a movie. So he had a back-to-back of Birdman and Revenant and said, all right, fuck off for a decade.
He's like, I'm too good at this.
Yeah, I won 2 Oscars. I'm going to chill out. So I'm excited for that one. And then, yeah, the Odyssey trailer. I know the like IMAX screenings before Avatar had like a prologue. I think that was like 5 minutes maybe. We just saw like the normal trailer, but still, that looked fucking sweet.
Awesome trailer.
It looks Christopher Nolan doing physical, practical sets.
Yeah.
It looks fucking sweet.
That one shot in that trailer of the Odyssey of all of the men in the cave, and then you see the Cyclops crawling in at the other end. I felt the horror of it and the excitement of seeing one. I don't think Cyclopses have ever been rendered well on screen because I think there's so much of an uncanny valley with the fact that there's only one eye. So I'm really interested to see also how Christopher Nolan, who's a slightly more practical leaning director, encounters that and shapes that and puts that on screen for us, but also just the way it was framed. I was like, fuck that! Don't need that. I'd be terrified if I was one of those soldiers, but I was so surprised and so sold. Also, the poster that we got this past week for the Odyssey, perfect, pitch perfect. Oh. I don't get it what it is with Nolan and putting like dark colored font in his trailers on a black background, so it's very hard to read.
Same style of font, whatever.
It's always Oppenheimer. Or Tenet or Dunkirk, like they all
whatever that font name is.
He loves that shit.
He's dedicated.
He laps that shit up. Yeah, he loves it.
And
then we got the Avengers Doomsday.
Avengers Doomsday, man. I mean, this is one of the most talked about trailers I feel like for a long time. This one, I guess, sort of slight spoilers if you haven't seen Avatar yet and don't want to know anything. But it's just a quick, maybe 45 seconds or so, and we see Chris Evans returning as Steve Rogers. He's riding his motorcycle, goes back into his house, holding a baby, pulls out the suit, Captain America suit for a second, cuts to the Avengers Doomsday logo, and then has a countdown for basically 12 months, coming out next year. So not a lot of, no story things at all, and then it just says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. Fun little tease. Like we mentioned last week, we're going to get more trailers in the subsequent weeks with Thor and Doctor Doom, and then kind of a more full trailer, it sounds like. So we'll probably keep talking about these. We'll probably see the leaked version. At least I'll see the leaked versions, because I don't feel like watching Avatar again.
Think if I was going to go try and catch one of these in theaters while watching Avatar for a rewatch, it would be that last one. Give me a full trailer. Yeah. Because that's kind of like... I knew based off of the synopsis of what had been leaked what I was roughly going to get out of this trailer, and I got exactly that. And it was still cool to see, but, and we talked about this on the drive back from the movie, I feel like if you are so in movie news or involved in like what's going on with the recent Marvel stuff and you watch everything, you kind of figure like, Captain America will probably be in this one. Like Steve Rogers will be back. So it's like not the biggest surprise. But, like, to be an average film fan or an average film goer, to see that and see that text, I'm like, maybe that's really exciting.
Hear the Avengers notes being like, oh, shit.
Just dingling through the fucking the teaser trailer. I was like, Aiden, Tanner, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Important stuff's happening.
But my favorite trailer from the week, just to briefly mention, is Disclosure Day. We talked about the marketing last week, the all will be disclosed kind of in Times Square. We got the trailer. Steven Spielberg is my favorite director of all time, And
Basic!
I've looked quiet. And I have loved a lot of what he's done in the past decade, maybe even like 2 decades, I guess. But like Fabelmans and Bridge of Spies and Lincoln and like Catch Me If You Can, even going back to that, I think are great. But I've been wanting him to do something original and new and weird, and this is it. I saw the trailer and it like freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah.
It has great imagery, the sound design of like the clicking of like the mouths clicking in the movie is really just sticking in my brain. The posters, I think, are great for this movie. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's a fun mystery. It looks like Close Encounters mixed with other alien sci-fi stuff we've seen.
Some aspects feel like a rival.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this movie. It has jumped up. When we do our 10 most anticipated for the year in a couple weeks, this one will be very high up on our list.
I think you can. Yeah, it's a safe thing to assume it'll be on both of our lists. Where it's at, there might be some discussion around that, but like, this is crazy. Like 4 trailers this past week, and likely 3 or 4 of them will be on both of our anticipated lists
for sure
for 2026.
Yeah.
So a big week in trailers. Also, a big week in casting announcements. We had rumors going back a couple weeks ago about potential actors taking on a big role in the DC universe, at least in terms of an adversarial role for the next Superman film. We had mentions of Matt Smith maybe being Brainiac and other stuff like that. But today, kind of out of nowhere, it felt like we got an announcement that Lars Eidinger will be cast as Brainiac in Superman Man of Tomorrow, which I'm not going to try and act like I know everyone in the world in terms of film. I have no idea who the fuck this is. I had to look back through Lars's filmography and saw that I think he played a character named Chara in High Life, which is a Robert Pattinson film, and I really liked that movie. I still don't remember that character, but I have confidence in James Gunn with his casting, at least. Some of his storytelling aspects, at least with Peacemaker Season 2, I'm like, what's going on? But his casting has worked for me throughout, especially with Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor and David Cornsweet as Superman. So I'm really eager to see. I also don't know the most about Brainiac, so I'm not going to act like I do. I don't even know if he's an alien or if he's a robot or if he's a mixture of both. Cool. Sounds great. I just want a physical threat for Superman, and if James Gunn thinks that this man is the best possible person to fill that role, then fuck it. I'm excited. I honestly kind of almost prefer that it's someone lesser known. It's going to be easier to see them as a person that is a ultimate villain for Superman.
I 100% agree. It sort of is like the David Cornsweet thing, where like not a lot of people really knew him. Like we'd seen him in a couple little things, but not a lot really. So I'm happy about that news that it's not a huge movie star where it's like, well, I just see that person and not Brainiac. A few other movie news things. We mentioned Warner Brothers being bought by Netflix. The Warner Brothers board, they rejected Paramount's hostile bid takeover. Paramount was in the mix to buy them, and Warner Brothers board basically just supported Netflix's deal more. They just kind of cleaner funding, fewer conditions, and just over Paramount's cost cuts and other a lot of behind the scenes inside baseball bullshit of stuff. We talked about how we would have preferred if somebody was to buy it, probably Paramount.
Yeah.
We mentioned the whole Netflix thing. It's gonna go through. This was kind of the last ditch effort, and now it's kind of like, all right, well, this is gonna happen now.
As someone who shits on Ted Sarandos a lot, and I did when we talked about that news kind of breaking of that big deal that Netflix kind of struck up with Warner Brothers, I will say Ted Sarandos' continuous kind of backing of like, we didn't buy them to change them. We bought them to keep them theatrical. If Ted Sarandos is willing to kind of pull through with that, follow through with that, and keep Warner Brothers a theatrical film release model and keep that studio kind of operating similar to how it is today, I will reserve some of my harsher complaints of Ted Sarandos. Still really scared because of how they currently manage their theatrical rollout, or limited theatrical rollout. But his words give me some pause, even if I don't 100% trust him all the time. So, not that Netflix is the best decision. It's just, I feel a little bit easier about it, even if I don't love it.
It is a bit of the corporate speak of...
That too, yeah.
He knows people are very upset about this.
No, it's fine.
No. We're going to keep it... Well,
The thing you're worried about us doing, we won't do it.
Well, we'll do, like, theatrical for, like, a couple years. And then it'll be, like, 30 days. Well, it'll be 15 days. Well, it'll be day and date release. And it's sort of the thing of, like, well, streaming started out as this thing where there was no ads on anything. And now you have to fucking pay more or you're getting ads on everything.
It's like, remember when we had to mail you movies in the fucking
I love that.
mailbox?
That was so good.
I was never a part of that. I was a Blockbuster kid till the day I die, and then Netflix went to streaming, and then we got that, and then Blockbuster died out, and I cried on my bathroom floor. It was, as my stepdad at the time was like, "It's okay, we'll just get fucking Netflix," and I'm like, "You don't get it! I want Blockbuster!" I fought my stepdad who had fucking 34 years on me.
Dude, yeah, as you should. Man.
Yeah, fuck Corey.
The mail-in, yeah, not me,
my stepdad.
Your stepdad at the
stepdad,
time.
Yeah.
No, the mail-in Netflix was sweet. I actually really like that, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm still not thrilled about it. Some other big news, kind of streaming-wise. In 2029, the Oscars are leaving ABC to go to YouTube. They're going to be streaming on there in a deal through 2020 or 2033. And part of this the part that I like about it is that this is going to be exposed to more people, especially internationally, that don't have broadcast TV and aren't watching the American Oscars. So people in a lot of other countries will be able to see the Oscars on YouTube, not like YouTube TV, YouTube, which is cool, and that's great. But I don't like that it's leaving network television because that is just such a part of award shows. I mean, we've seen it with like the SAG Awards or the actor awards now, moving to Netflix in the last couple of years. It just loses the specialness of it, and it sucks that we only have 3 more years of the Oscars on network TV. I mean, I guess the contract ends in 2033, so it could revert somewhere else, but good that more people can see it, but also, again, kind of the beginning of the end of all right, well, if this goes well, they're not going to fucking let it go back to someone else. Like, YouTube has the fucking all the money, so they're going to keep this going.
Yeah. This was kind of conflicting news, and it's like, I kind of don't know how to feel about it until we get to that first year, but I'm one of those people that feels nostalgic for watching, cable television or network television and getting the commercials, and, say what you want, YouTube TV, even, it's going to YouTube, but YouTube TV, you get ads, but ads don't feel the way that they used to, and I feel like when you watch a award show, or at least when I watch the Oscars, it always kind of feels the same, and I like that comfortability I have with it, because it is nostalgic to this point. I've been watching this award show for the past, 15 years? 18 years? And I love watching it, and I don't know how it's going to change, if it's going to change much. I like the idea that more people are going to be able to watch it, but also I'm like, something's got to give. What are we sacrificing for this? Or what new spin are they going to try and put on it? I don't need anything hip with the Oscars. I've gotten to the point where, you're not going to better the Oscars. Just let the Oscars be a long award show. It's going to be long, and we're all going to complain about it, but it doesn't change. It's fine.
Yeah, the ratings are going to be what they are.
Yeah.
Because people... it's gone down.
People would rather just Google it the next day and figure out what won than watch the actual award show, which I don't blame them, because the award show is long. And, sometimes there's not always the most kind of mass appealing information or awards given out for people that are going to see, maybe 10 movies a year. I actually, on my phone, I was keeping a list, I broke 100 movies this past week.
Oh, nice.
Of movies I've watched. And I was like, holy fuck. I'm super excited about that, and it makes me excited to watch the Oscars, because hopefully I'll be a little bit more inside baseball. I'll know more about what's going on, and then we'll get the nominees, and I'll find out that I haven't watched 16 fucking things that I need to check out. Yeah. So, TBD on kind of how I overall feel about this. I'm worried just because I love the nostalgia of it being on network television.
Yeah, we'll see if they leave the comments on. Live comments on the Oscars. Boo! Fuck that, dude.
Amelia Perez would not have survived.
They would get eaten alive.
Oh my god. They cannot leave the comments.
Can't leave the comments on if there's
Oscar's so white again.
If there's any ads whatsoever. And best picture is, here's BetterHelp. And you're... No! They wouldn't do that, probably, but...
Factor.
Factor box.
Okay,
yeah. Fucking Raid Shadow Legends or whatever the fuck.
Whatever Jeremy Johns is fucking plugging now.
Yeah, Displate, whatever the fuck.
Oh my god.
Every single one. They're cool.
Displate. If you're out there and you want to give us money to
we'll
market
do ads.
your shit to 30 people that casually listen to us, we'll take it, but otherwise I don't want your fucking metal poster on my wall. It's fine.
No. Also, thanks to all the advertisements that we have that make us like $1.30 in a year. If you start the video, we have an ad you can skip. If you hit the skip 30, that gets you exactly to the start of this video. So you don't have to listen to it.
I do that on the podcast app.
Yeah, on the like on Apple Music or Spotify. So you don't have to listen to it. I think there's one at the beginning and one at the end. Maybe one in the middle. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. We're shills. We're fucking sold out.
we probably made $1.80 in the past year of us doing this.
We're gonna try and maybe up that a bit. Not the ads.
I remember ads. This is nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah, fuck them. They can listen.
I brought it up to my wife. We were talking about getting pregnant. We're not pregnant. She's not pregnant. I don't get pregnant. She's not pregnant. But we're talking about that conversation of timeline of things. And I was like, I think it'd be fun when Allie gets pregnant to tell you live for the first time while we record this.
Yeah, you'll pull some bullshit.
And she was like, I don't know if I want that many people to know. What if you guys hit it big? And I'm like, we're not
the 25 people.
Yeah, we're not hitting it big. That and the majority of the people that watch this know me and my wife, so it's you guys probably are gonna find out already or not. Yeah, exactly. So I just thought it was cute of her. What if you guys get big? I don't know if I want it all over the internet. I'm like, 20 people, you're fine. It's okay.
Yeah. When we do get big,
I can't wait until I get big. I've been waiting to get big for all my life.
Yeah, gotta get big to get pregnant.
I'm solid 4 inches, wanted bigger.
Universal has pulled the Mithrigan, otherwise known as Megan, spin-off Soulmate, and there's an 8 in that title. If you're wondering, that's been pulled from the release calendar. So we had Megan and Megan 2. I sort of enjoy Megan. Megan 2 I really don't like. That's going to be in my bottom 5 of the year when we do that little thing. Megan 2, you can assure that will be brought up. So this Soulmate, I was kind of excited for. It's just a divorced guy that's really sad, so he gets a sex doll called Soulmate.
Pocket pussy.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I mean, that's cool. That's tight. I guess maybe some test screenings didn't go well, or the concept didn't go well.
They're like, it's just a grease ball.
It's like, who is this for? And they're like, I don't know, me. The director
on stage.
Director's the only one that was into it. I don't know. I don't know. I remember a couple weeks ago, I started making my list of movies that I want to see in 2026 of the basic big blockbusters. At this point, we don't know a lot of the little movies.
I really appreciate. And I don't mean this as a derogatory. I really appreciate how autistic you are about movies.
Absolutely.
There's not a lot of people I've ever met in my life. Actually, Corey is the only person I've ever met in my life that looks at the spines of movies when we're buying them. And I'm like, that's it.
Yeah. When it comes to movies, I'm autistic as fuck. Yeah. And so I was making my list, and this one was in the release schedule I was seeing, and I guess it's been pulled. I doubt this movie is ever going to come out. After Megan 2 fucking bombed. If Megan 2 did well, I'd be like, okay, maybe they're shifting, but sex doll dude, I guess it's just not happening right now. Mason, how do you feel about Soulmate? Actually, no, the fucking title is Soulmate T. Because
it's got an 8. It's got a full 8.
The A is replaced by an 8. It's like the 7 thing. It's the 7 in.
It's the 7 in.
It's bullshit, and I hate that.
Stick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But this is
yeah, sucks.
Right. Hate it.
Fucking thing sucks.
Soulmate-y. Maybe that's why they pulled it, because
it's like a pirate movie.
Oh,
arg, Soulmate-y. That'd be cool. Sex doll on a pirate ship.
We need to wrap this shit so I can have a second beer and take a nap. I don't know. I liked Megan 2 more than you. I thought it was fun, even though it's not great. It's not good.
It's dog shit.
It's kind of bad.
Dog shit.
It's like good gutter trash. Like it's good like junk food movie watching. So I enjoyed it. I remember when they brought this up a while ago when this movie was like announced to be made, and I was just like, well, we just got Companion. Like, isn't that kind of this premise? Except unless you were going like hard R, like dude fucking apocalypse with legs and teeth. Like, what are you gonna show?
There was that Megan Fox movie, Subservience. I didn't see, but it was the same sort of deal, where she was like a robot that was coming into like a divorced dad and his kid.
Streaming?
Yeah, on something. I don't remember, but I like it's Megan Fox. I'm like, all right.
We should find that.
Yeah, we should find that and watch that.
Yeah,
Who gives
I
a
like
fuck?
as someone who didn't have the worst time with Megan 2, I don't give a fucking shit about this.
No.
I feel like I'm swearing a lot this episode. I'm sorry for
Yeah,
those
fuck 'em.
who are more PG.
Who cares?
Bennett, if you're listening, don't tell your parents to not let you watch this.
Sorry,
yeah.
dude. I don't know you, but sorry.
He thinks I'm famous.
Oh,
He thinks we're famous.
We are famous.
Yeah, with the 20 people.
Yeah.
But, I don't give a shit about this movie.
Fuck
So,
'em.
the Megan Cinematic Universe could be fucking kaput for all I care. It does not matter. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Slate Night, the Film Fan Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more in-depth.
What the fuck is this?
Right, click
Getting a monotone for the last.
I thought I'd get like robotic with it, with like the Megan shit.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the bit. I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone got the bit, so it's kind of nice that you fucking teed me up to explain myself.
Yeah, fuck you.
I'm really excited about the old-fashioned premix.
It's really good. I'm excited.
How long has this episode been?
We're at $1:55 about. We said it was going to be shorter than last one, and then we said no, we're probably going to drag on for a bit more because we're drinking more, and then we did. So sorry about that.
We did exactly what we thought we would do.
Fuck them.
In film, I'm going to read this because I can't say this by
Read it.
myself. In film, it's not just about what's on screen. It's about who's next to you in the theater. Ain't that sweet?
It's so true.
Yeah.
We never acknowledged that line. You came up with that line. That's a good line. That's good stuff. Yeah. We saw Avatar with our buddies, and that made it better. Absolutely.
Being able to talk to Aiden about that movie after the movie.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
It is about who you sit next to in the theater.
There were a lot of people talking in our theater. There was also a lot of young kids at that movie. I'm like, how are young kids sitting through a 3-hour-long fucking movie?
They didn't get up to go to the bathroom.
No one
cool.
left. No one left.
That was actually impressive. Like none of our group left.
No.
Like during the movie, so that was cool. Yeah. Anyways,
one of our friends brought an extra pair of pants. Had
to change them because he dropped them on the shitty bathroom floor.
He was like,
3 minutes before the movie starts, he's like, I need to change my pants. Like Doomsday trailer's playing, it's like, I need to change my pants.
I can't deal with this. Is wet.
So, great job, Aiden. You're gonna be a married man in like 6 months.
Yeah.
I'll
be the best man at that wedding.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I didn't know that.
No, I don't know if he's told anyone, but I also haven't told anyone.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
Yeah, he asked me to be the best man for that, which is weird because I'm not the best at anything I do. And then my brother, who is getting married in July, asked me to officiate his wedding. And
Busy year.
If you've ever watched this, you know I'm not good at talking. So it's amazing that I've duped not just my brother, but I've also officiated a wedding prior. So this is the second wedding I'm going to butcher. And my brother was like, "Are you sure you want to do it?" I'm like, "You already asked me. Like, I'm gonna do it."
Say no. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing it. You're just gonna hate it.
Dude,
like it's gonna suck ass.
That's
so
tight.
busy fucking summer I have ahead of me.
Yeah. It'll be fun time. Anyways, that's all we got for this episode today. From Mason and I at Slate Night. That's a wrap.